it's important that all of you pay attention. You need to have cameras on. And I want to go ahead and keep it moving forward. I want to talk about the mirror usage fact sheet. So extremely important. You have directly behind you. When you guys are driving, I need to frame the rear window, frame that rear window in your mirror. So when you're looking straight ahead, I want to see you adjust the mirror, keeping your eyes straight. When you're driving, I want to see you be able to look to the left. So you have to adjust your left mirror. You want to see a little bit of the sidecar to your left. So when you're driving, you should be able to turn your head minimal, and then the right mirror. Many of you are starting to drive more consistent. You're checking your mirrors. You have to have your mirrors adjusted properly. It eases you cutting off people. You still have to look over your shoulder. You have 4 blind spots. You have the left side, right side, front, and back. So I need to see you guys properly adjust your mirrors. It's extremely important. Next, let's talk about stopping. Anytime a driver has to slow down, I need to see all of you looking at your mirror. I don't see you doing that. And if you don't look at your mirror, you're going to end up perhaps getting rear-ended. We don't want or need a rear-end collision. I want all of you to check your mirror more. This helps reduce some of the frustration, some of the anxiety. Check your mirror. Mirror checks quickly allow for extra space ahead. You can only control the space in front of you. Okay? You can't control the space behind you. I'll say it again. You might want to write some of these down. You're going to be seeing these very soon. You can only control the space in front of you. If someone tailgates you, then there's nothing you can. You going faster is reducing the space in front of you. So be mindful. I always talk about speed, space, and a smile. Have good speed, have good space, and have a smile. Extremely important. Next, I want to talk about changing lanes. You have to check your mirror, turn signal, blind spot. If I'm making a lane change to the left, I check my center mirror, I look at my side mirror, I check my blind spot. Use your blinker. Down is left, up is right. A lot of beginning drivers tend to forget about those things. They don't pay attention to those things. So you as a driver, you have to get into a sequence, right? You won't learn everything from me. You're going to learn more from your parent. You're going to learn more from your caregiver. You're going to learn more from your guardian. Where I am is a state certified driving instructor. I'm going to help you understand those fundamentals. I'm going to help you reduce some of that anxiety. I'm going to help you reduce some of that frustration. But at the end of the day, so you're going to learn from me. You're going to learn from your mom. You're going to learn from your dad, your sister, your brother, the person down the street. You will develop your own sense of direction. And that's really important that you develop your style. Your style is not my style. My style is not your style. You need to work on that lane positioning. Some of you still hug the right lane. And if you catch the left of the road, you're going to go off the road and end up going into the ditch or losing control of your car. So I want all of you to really practice that lane positioning. A lot of beginning drivers tend to hug that right lane. You'll catch. Next, we talked about checking mirrors and blind spots. My blind spot is directly behind me to my left and to my right. If I was driving, I'm making a lane change to the left, mirror, turn signal, blind spot. Check. If you don't look over your shoulder, that is not a blind spot check. And on your road test, why I'm preparing you for when you're 16, I'm looking ahead. Okay, we always want to elevate. I'm dreaming in my mind, I'm preparing you for passing that road test. Looking over your shoulder. Never ever cut off a car. But the reality is you're learning how to drive. And as a result, you end up cutting off cars. You end up being nervous. You end up putting your foot on the brake. And these things are normal. I want all of you to know it's normal. But in the real world, it's not normal for you to put on your brake when you make a lane change. You'll get hit from behind. You'll confuse other drivers, and we don't want that to happen. Some cars have enhanced mirror settings. They have a mirror in a mirror, Please follow me. You have a mirror, square, rectangular, and there is another mirror that enlarges objects to the left, objects to the right. You still have to look over your shoulder. You should be drawing little pictures. You should be writing these things down. I'm looking for people to miss less than 5 questions. I'm looking for people to miss less than 10 questions. If you're missing 15, 18, heaven forbid, 25 questions, you're very close to failing. Talk about failing. I live in a very positive, uplifting world. You will do your best. You will life, but it takes work from all of you. It takes work from me as your instructor. It takes work from your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother. You have to put in work. You have to make time. Baseball, football, track, theater. If you don't take the time to learn how to drive, you're going to be 19, 20, 24, 27, 30, and not really learn how to drive. Okay? This is bigger than you, and this is bigger than me. So we talked about enhanced mirror settings. I want to talk about some instrument panel. All of you should know where the gas gauge is. It's usually a half gauge. It has a E at the bottom, has an F on the top. I will ask you about your gas gauge. You should know about the speedometer. It tells you how fast you are driving. Don't stare at the speedometer. U.S. beginning drivers, and there's nothing bad about that. If I was learning how to play the piano, I will be a beginning pianist. That's the person who plays the piano. Don't stare at the speedometer. I'm looking down. I see many of you staring at the speedometer, and we're going off the road to the right. That's scary. I have to grab the wheel. I see you staring at the speedometer, and I see you going off the road to the left. That's scary. Don't stare at the speedometer. I'm letting all of you know, please don't do that. So you've got to trust your mind and body to know, hey, I'm at about 40. You take a peek, yeah, I'm at 40. Hey, I'm at about 50. Take a peek, I'm at 50. Don't stare at the speedometer. Also, brakes. You want to squeeze the brake with the ball of your foot. Many of you, if this is my brake pad, you're putting half of your foot on the brake. Use the ball of your foot, like this is the ball of my hand. Use the ball of your foot on that brake pad and squeeze and have leverage. It's extremely important. Wear thin sole shoes. I'm not sponsored by Converse. Crocs are good shoes. Converse are good shoes. This is what I found over the years. At the end of the day, you're going to wear your own shoe. But when you're learning how to drive, please don't wear old, hard gym shoes. Because you as a beginning driver, here's what's going to happen. You're going to hit that brake and we're going to get rear-ended. You're going to hit that gas and the car's going to lunge up in the ball of your foot. Be in control. Be comfortable. It's really important for me as your instructor that you are comfortable, that you feel good about yourself, that you are getting positive vibes as we drive in downtown areas, backing in, turning out, pulling in schools. I want you to feel good. Yeah, mom and dad, we did a lot of parking today. Okay, that's fine. That's great. We got to go home and help grandma. You have to know in your heart, I'm getting ready to drive. For some of you, I don't see your dad. They have to take that personal responsibility. It takes a village to raise a child, right? It takes me, your mom, your dad, teachers, coaches, principals, clearly your personal responsibility. Another important gauge is the temperature gauge. Okay, you have an H for hot, usually at the top because temperature goes up. You have a C for cold. When the temperature's cold, the gauge goes down. You need to know what this is. You need to understand what the gauges do. So I ask you that after you drive. Hey, tell me about 3 gauges. Tell me what they do. Tell me what they are. Know about these gauges. Okay, left turn down, right turn up. Some of you are still turning on the wrong blinker, confusing other drivers. And then when we cut off a car, you look at me like, what did I do? And I say to myself, you turned on the wrong blinker. So you need to know your left and right. Really important. You won't be using cruise control. If we're for an extended period of time on the expressway, I may have you turn it on. You hold your gas pedal, you click a button, and it sets the cruise control for 55, 60, whatever speed you're at. Under 30, you should not really be using the cruise control or in heavy traffic. Let's talk about vehicle safety. You should always lock your door. Make sure your door is locked. Why? You could fall out. Some of your occupants could fall out. Lock your door. Make sure you hear the click. Sun visors. We drive in the morning. It's very bright outside. You want to have the visor so it protects your vision. If it's down too low, you can't see. If it's up too high, it won't help you. You have to decide how you want the sun visor, because we will be driving in the morning, early afternoon, early evening. We have a beautiful summer, and it's going to be bright. So you might want to consider some possible sunglasses. But if your glasses are too dark, they're going to shield a lot of the light. We need light to see. You don't wear sunglasses at night because it's dark. So you might want to consider having some sunglasses when we drive to protect your eyes. You only get one set of eyes. Head restraint. There is a small pillow behind us. If we get rear-ended, we'll be knocked forward and then we'll go back. That head restraint protects your head from whiplash. The head restraint should be in the back center of your head. Some of you are tall, some of you are short. You have to adjust your seat up or down. I'm going to applaud you. Many of you are doing a great job of adjusting your seat. That's what I want to see on that first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Come in there and adjust your seat. I shouldn't have to say, hey, adjust your seat. Hey, you're too far away. I'm too far away. I can't drive. Hey, I'm too close. This is my race car steering wheel. I'm too close to, okay? So this is too close. Okay, you're moving it back. I just see a bend in your arms. That's really important. I shouldn't have to say, hey, adjust your seat. You should know by now. I've showed you. But one of your classmates said, hey, I drive with my dad. He acts like I know what to do. Thank you for making me humble. Thank you for making me reflect. You don't know what to do. Your parents should be telling you what to do. If mom and dad are driving and you don't know what to do, tell them, I don't know what to do. What? He didn't teach you? Of course I taught you. Of course I talked to your parents. But you still have to be inquisitive. You have to ask questions. I've taken you guys through roundabouts, left turns, right turns, protected left turns, unprotected left turns. We have not driven in the winter, and you guys won't. You're going to have to learn a whole new style of driving in the wintertime. Anyone can drive in the summer when it's beautiful and pretty. What about in the wintertime when it's cold and nasty and you're sliding all over the road? So my class from last year, they're ahead of you on the curve. You're going to be driving through the summer, taking it into the winter. And if you go too fast in your turns, you're going to roll your car over. I always like to speak in truth with love. And for me, driving many of you, we've had experiences where we almost gotten hit. So I can't assume that you know what to do. And I never will assume you know what to do. I'm here to help you. Stay coachable. Talk to your parents. Ask questions. This is why I try to build a relationship with you. Talk to your parent. Give them insight. Every instructor is different. The crumple zones. I'm saying some key things. You should be writing this down. This is your review, and then you're going to be working on that 215-word activity. Crumple zones. They are zones in your car: left front bumper, right front bumper, rear left bumper, rear right bumper. They're designed to crumple impact when you hit something. If you have to hit something, hit it at an angle. Avoid head-on collisions. I'm taking my time to go over this because when you take your test, my expectation, you're going to miss 5. You're going to miss 7. You're going to miss 10. Some of you will miss 0. I do a lot of test prep and test review. None of you can say, well, we never reviewed. Of course, there's some questions that I can't go over because I don't want to go over the validity of the test. But you need to be reading through your notes. You need to be knocking those Kahoots out, knocking those Quizlets out. And when I call you to read questions, you shouldn't say, oh, I didn't do it. Well, you are hurting yourself and not getting the knowledge you need, okay? Your parents made an investment in you, and you have to read. You've got to do research. You've got to integrate yourself into the Kahoots, the Quizlets. I try to bring energy into the classroom. So you got to know about the crumple zones. Avoid a head-on collision. Try to side swipe something. In the event of a collision, we want to side swipe, okay? Anti-lock brakes. Our car is equipped with ABS. You might want to write that down. They're going to be questions. ABS, anti-lock brake system. Okay? These brakes are designed not to allow your wheels to lock up. The computer pulses the brake so they don't lock up 1,000 times a second, just like I'm doing this, so they don't lock up. You as a beginning driver, you need to look on the dashboard or on the brake pad itself. It will say ABS. Make sure you understand what that is. Cars without ABS, you have to pump the brakes so they don't lock up. Please remember this. You might see it on the test. You might see it on the quiz. Usually the things we go over, they're going to be in that 215 word question review. And you should be ripping that apart. It should be easy. You got to put in work. I understand. I'm working hard. I'm driving you guys every day, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. But I try to bring my energy in to keep it peaceful, keep it happy, keep it growing. So you got to know about ABS. ESP, Electronic Stability Program. This allows the front wheels or all four to have the ability to control the engine. Let's pretend it's the wintertime. We're going around a curve and I overturn. The rear of the car will swing out to the left. If we have ESP, it might squeeze the outside brakes. It might accelerate so the computer controls what the car does. We have smart cars. Even though our car is a 2010, it still has some of those smart car technologies. Many of your parents are driving 2023s, some 2024s because they're engineers. Your cars that you will drive should have ABS, electronic stability control, lane departure warnings, but you still need to know how to drive a car. You still need to know how to control a car. What do you do if a deer comes out? We brace ourselves. You don't veer for the deer. You hit the deer head on. If you swerve, you're going to go off the road, hit a car head on. So the Michigan State Police have talked about this. Let's continue. Crumple zones, backup devices. They could be a beep. It could be a warning light. The best backup devices are eyes. I need you to look out your back window when you back up. Some of you are still looking in your mirror as we're about to go over the curb. Look over your shoulder, out the back window. This is why I have a lot of you reversing, pulling in, backing up, 3-point turnaround. So it become, but I have a backup camera. You still have to look out. Annually, thousands of little kids are ran over by their parents because they get comfortable relying on a backup camera and not looking over their shoulder. You have to look. You have to back up slow. If you see little toys out, you got to look. Make sure that little kid is on the sidewalk, on the porch. Hey, little Johnny, hey, okay. You're a big kid. They want to see you. You're their hero. They don't understand about danger. I need you to really understand this. And if you don't understand it, you're not living in a reality. Okay? Little kids do not understand the danger of a car. I need you as a young adult to drive safe, to drive smart. We talked about crumple zones. Oh, traction control. Cars and trucks do have traction control. If one of your tires is spinning or both, the computer that controls the car will take power away. That's why it's called traction control. Understand it. It's a safety device to allow us as drivers to avoid a crash. Please understand traction control. These elements will be on your test. Every year, the state updates their tests. They put in new information. They're not going to be questions from 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 12 years ago. What I'm telling you is correct. And if you don't read through your stuff, you're right. I missed 12 questions and then you almost failed. So I'm going over this. And when I check your test, yep, so-and-so wasn't paying attention. Their camera wasn't on. They failed. They missed 35 questions. That's on you. And at the end of the session, I need you to take pictures of your notes and send them to me at the end. You're going to be doing the 215-word activity in a moment. I'm taking my time to go over those key elements that will make my good students elite, to make my average students good, to make my poor students better. If you fail this test, it's because you can't read, you skip 5 questions, you are guessing. You have 2 hours to take the test. It's in your notes. You have to study. You can't study now. I'm going to study every day before the test. It's too late. We're already in. You got to prepare. Adaptive cruise control. Your car, if your car is equipped, will adjust to the flow of the traffic. If people are driving 45, your car could adjust the speed 44, 43, 42 to keep distance. But sometimes the adaptive cruise control doesn't work correctly. It might speed up. It might slow down. So you have to be able to drive. Cars are smarter today, but you, humans, are smarter than the car. You've got to learn how to drive with those safety features off. Blind spot detectors, you'll have the mirror. At the bottom of the mirror, it will light up. You might have a star. You might have a picture of a car. So if you make a lane change, if you can look over your shoulder, you'll see the side of the mirror with a little light. So some cars are equipped with that. I need you to really connect with your parents' car, right? You need to say, hey, mom, dad, can I just sit in the car? Why do you want? He told me to sit in the car. Adjust the seat. Get your mirrors right. Connect. Be one with the vehicle. That's what you really need to do. Oh, they won't let me sit in the car. Well, your mom and dad don't want you to learn it. You've got to connect with the vehicle because that's what you're going to be driving. You won't be driving the driver's ed car. You're going to be driving a different type of vehicle. So it's really important that you understand that. Next, lane change assist. The lane change assist is extremely important because it keeps the car in the lane. Some cars and trucks, the steering wheel will shake. I know it's freezing a little bit. Some cars, lane keep assist. Okay, lane keep assist. This helps keep the car in the lane. If you fall asleep at the wheel, and we talked about driving this yesterday, you as teens, you stay up all night. You're tired. You don't sleep normal hours that your mom or dad do. I'm a dad. Okay, I go to bed at 10 or 11. You go to bed at 12. 1, 2, 3. You're trying to play a video game. And I'm better than you. Well, I guess I put time in, right? But you stand up all night and then you expect to drive in the morning. Okay? So you got to mentally prepare for driving. Eat good. Stay hydrated, right? Very, very important. Parking assist. Some cars do have parking assist. They allow you to park